Hello, it's the Friday Talkie. So, what have we been hearing all about all week long? E3, 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 E3. Don't care. I really don't care. And this got me thinking. I mean, it kind of follows on from what I was saying, it wasn't last week, was it? Week before, about how I've hit a point where I've lost interest in the modern hardware, modern games. Related to that, but not exactly the same, because I wouldn't want to say the same thing twice in a row. That wouldn't be good. And it kind of got me thinking about my dad, or rather my dad's taste in music. Now, how the hell are E3 and my dad's taste in music in any way connected? That's a very good question, you may ask. Okay, I shall try and answer that. Back in my teens, when I still lived with my family and was still speaking to some of them, I was into your 80s pop music, and my dad listened to your 50s rock and roll. And I did not understand. It was like, why the hell are you listening to that crap? It's awful, it sounds terrible, it's old-fashioned, there's all this modern music. Why don't you listen to this instead of listening to that crap? I didn't get it at all. And you might wonder, what the hell am I talking about? What's this got to do with games? I'll get to that. So, E3. In fact, let's ignore E3 for the moment. The way games consoles manufacturers have worked in the past, right from Pong up to the PS3, has been, with each generation, you improve the CPU's processing power. You either make it faster or add multi-threading and multi-cores and God knows what, and you increase the graphical capabilities. You boost how much memory it's got, storage capacities increase. Basically, you take last year's thing and you make it more. You just do the same thing but better each generation. And we seem to have reached a point now, when you look at your Xbox 360s and your PS3s, not so much your Wii, where they can't really push it a lot further. Obviously they can go a bit further. I mean, your really high-tech multi-thousand-pound PCs can do better graphics, but you know, what is really in it apart from nicer lighting effects, nicer particle effects, better AI, better physics? You can't go an awful lot further. And I think this is where they've kind of reached in the console market now. They're like, okay, it's not practical to make it much more powerful than they currently are. Firstly, it would make it stupidly expensive, because already they're not cheap. This generation is way more expensive than the last generation, and yet the leap in visual impact and overall impact of the games isn't as great. So it's like they've reached a point, they've got to try something different. If they're going to progress, if they're going to make another generation, they've got to do something more than just make it more powerful, because that's going nowhere. So what are they doing? Well, there's this Wii U, or some I'm sure will call it Wii Poo. I don't like it. I'm not interested. I don't like the Wii anyway, so I mean there's no big surprise there. I don't get it. I don't... this bloody great big massive controller with a screen in it. No. To quote lolcats, do not want. I'm not into your touch screens. I hate the bloody Wiimote thing on the Wii. I don't want to wave my arms around and crap like that. To me, it's like... Oh, I was going to just... Yeah, that's not working. Come here, you bugger. Okay, this is a bad example, isn't it? Because this thing's still on a wire. This is the PS2 controller. But that, to me, albeit the wireless one for the PS3, is the ultimate controller. And my God, that's dusty. It doesn't get any better than that, for me. It's perfect. It fits my hand perfectly. Everything. I'm so used to it that the very idea of using something different to me is horrible. It's abhorrent. I just don't want to use anything different. So when I see things that you've got to wave your arms around, or with touch screens built into the controller, I mean, I do not want. So it's either fancy controllers, I mean your Connect thing for the Xbox 360, not interested. I don't want to be the controller. I don't care how funky their advertising is, I don't want to be the controller. I want to hold it there, like that. I want to sit on my sofa and veg out. So, and that's the way Microsoft are going, and I'm not entirely sure what Sony are doing, to be honest. I like the idea of their 3D. They want to go 3D, don't they? And, well, if they made 3D TVs a whole lot cheaper, maybe. Or cheap 3D goggles or something, I don't know. But a lot of people aren't going to go for that. They get the headaches. I can vouch for that on the Virtual Boy. So, to progress, they're really trying to do something different. Because just adding more power really isn't going to work for them. It's just going to get stupidly expensive. Well, it's that law of diminishing returns, isn't it? And for me, it's not working. The whole new direction is not working. I don't like it. And I had to sit down and ask myself, given that they are, I can understand the logic in them having to take new directions. Is the fact that I don't like what they're doing, does that mean they're getting it wrong? Or does that mean I'm a stick in the mud? It's like my dad stopped listening to new music by the end of the 50s or 60s. I stopped listening to new music by the end of the 90s. Have I reached the point in video games technology now where I'm saying this far and no more, no further? Don't, whatever comes after this point, it's not for me. I don't know. Is it them or is it me? Not sure. Maybe it's both. Because it's not that I fear change and new technology. I don't. I mean, I did that Friday Talkie just a couple of weeks ago with all your augmented reality. I love all that. I love that I've got a phone in my pocket that's more powerful than the computer I had perhaps 10 years ago. That kind of technology I love. I'm not. There's an awful lot of stuff in the media at the moment that's saying PCs are on the way out. Everyone's using smartphones and pads. Well, I'm not sure about that. Tablet type, you know, your iPad thing. I'm not sure about that. I think there will always be a place for the PC. I could not replace my PC with an iPad or an iPhone because you just can't beat it for video editing. And photo editing, you need that big screen and the mouse control. I don't care what they say about them being obsolete. For me, there will always be a need for them. But I do love the new gadgets. So it's not that I'm afraid of progressing technology, but for me, gaming has always been about sitting in front of a big TV, sometimes it was small because we were poor, with a joystick or a joypad. And you watch what's going on the screen, and that's it. You know, veg out, just shut out the world and play. You're not the controller, you're not jumping around and weird shit, you're just playing a video game. And that's what I like. I just want to play a video game, and what they're doing, I think I made my point. I don't know if it's me or if it's them or if it's both, but I'm not happy with where gaming is going. But they might prove me wrong, because all of this weird fandangle crap might just be optional. Give me, as long as a normal controller is still the default, and all the other weird crap is optional, I'll be happy. But as soon as the weird crap becomes the default, like it did on the Wii, that's where they lose me. Yeah. Moving on, completely different. I'm going to... Well, I'm not exactly sure what it is. there's a kind of a meeting of retro gaming or gaming YouTubers at, well, it's in Spalding, Murphadurf 83. He's got a shop there now. I think the meeting is going on in the shop or near the shop or somewhere around the shop. I don't know the details, funnily enough. I heard about it but didn't really look into the details, and then 2 days said, do you want to come along? I said, sure. So yeah, I'm going to that. I don't know who else is going. I know 1 or 2 people who are going. If you are, I'll see you there. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's happening. I've not been paying attention, and I should, really. But I'm just like, okay, people there, retro gaming, that sounds good. And I mean, I had such a good time with Dave when we went to Replay last year that yeah, it's going to be a laugh, whatever. Yeah, there will be video footage. I will have my camera with me, and expect video of that later in the week. Looking forward to it. See you there tomorrow if you're going. Hark at me rambling now. I think it's time for a shout out. Here we go then. This is, how do you pronounce that? Gerion79. I'm almost certainly pronouncing that wrong. Retro Gambler, I think, is the name of the channel. He is from Austria. This is a very interesting channel because he does 2 versions of each video. I didn't actually know this the first time I watched it. I watched one of his videos in Austrian and was really, I thoroughly enjoyed it watching. I didn't understand a word he was saying, and it didn't matter. I enjoyed it, and I think that was the GameCom video, or one of the GameCom videos. How many did he do? One of these. Can't remember which one I watched, but either way, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't understand a word he was saying, and I commented and said that was great, and he said yeah, he does actually do an English version as well, which shows how much attention I'd paid, because I hadn't noticed. But yeah, there's 2 versions of each video on here, one in Austrian, or is it, do they talk German in Austria? Either way, he's not speaking English. And then there's an English version. And he's got videos on, well, there's Amiga CD32 games there, an Amiga CD32 video about the console, outtakes there, Gamecom videos, Tiger R-Zone, my god, that's just such a horrible machine, Star Wars Rebel Assault 1 and 2, loads of different stuff. I mean, games and hardware, which is interesting because I like to see channels that do concentrate on hardware and software. I think I concentrate far too much on the software on my channel and really need to do more system reviews. But loads of stuff. Certainly a good amount of Amiga stuff on here, which is cool because, as you know, I like Amiga stuff. Yeah, CD-TV. I haven't watched that one yet. I need to. It's the usual thing. I'm watching so many channels, Virtual Boy, that I know there's good stuff on their channels, and I just don't find the time to watch it all. And this is one of those, because his channel is good, and I need to find the time to watch more. And it's also good because if you're an Austrian German speaker, you know, stuff in your native language, and if you're English, there's also stuff in your native language, and it's cool. It's very enjoyable to watch. Highly recommended. I'm not sure. I think there's some stuff here that's like really early stuff, isn't necessarily gaming related. Looking at it, but there is lots of stuff on here and lots of gaming stuff, retro gaming stuff, well worth a watch. I'm just reading stuff on here now. Films: Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, Tron. Don't know what that is. Matrix, James Bond. Great taste in films, which has nothing really to do with the channel, but it just goes to show that he's got good taste. Yes, so that is, my apologies if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Gerion79? Gerion79? I don't know. Retro Gambler, totally worth a look. Check him out. Yeah. Okay, closing comments. Take 2, because I screwed up the last one. I actually do have some closing comments. What's coming up is, well, not more Archimedes games videos. I'm knocking that on the head now. All I've got left, I've got very few games left that I haven't shown, and they are actually just a little bit too complicated, too many keys, with no instructions. It's just like, no, it would take too long to work out how to play them, and I'm very much pick up and play. So I won't be doing those, or I may come back to them at a later date should I be running out of other stuff to do. So I'm going to be moving on to another system, or a couple of other systems. In fact, I've got 3 Mega Drive cartridges that I've been sort of I was going to say sitting on, but that's not right. I'd squashed them. Yeah, I've had sitting there for a while, and I'm going to do them. And I've got an Atari 8-bit one that I really do want to do because it's a great game. And I'm not telling you what it is. You'll just have to wait and see. And then I think I'm going to concentrate for a little while on the Sinclair ZX81, because I have been meaning to do a system review of that for donkey's years. Well, several months anyway. So I figure I'll dig that out and do some more games on that, because I've got quite a few that are worth showing, I think, maybe. I'll probably cripple myself trying to use that keyboard again, but there you go. Yes, that's what's coming up. Other stuff? Probably not. No, I'm going to start working on an outro video, because I haven't had an outro for ages. And I think it's time that I had one, because, well, I want to use it to promote bits that are on my website, like go buy a t-shirt, that kind of thing. And really, I'm missing the moose. He needs his little outro slots. I was about to show him to you, but then you'll realise just how small he is, and that's not right. You need to know that the moose is massive, and those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, you'll find out. Alright, I'll shut up now. Thank you for watching.